one last thing I want to bring up about OKC before I jump into these 5 things that I learned from this year in the NBA. So after the championship, they've done all their their interviews with ABC, ESPN, and they're now in the locker room. They're kicking it, and you see the scenes in the locker room where they're like, "Yo, Alex, how do we pop this bottle? I don't know what I'm doing." They talked about, there was some of these guys' first times drinking beer. They didn't like it. They did request tequila, which, let me just, as a quick rabbit trail here, very good taste, gentlemen. I'm not an avid drinker myself, but I'll take a shot of tequila from time to time if you offer it to me. I'm not gonna turn it down. I like the way tequila tastes. Beer is trash, and I hate when people say to me, "Well, beer's an acquired taste." Okay, but and my rebuttal is, guys, when I acquire the beer, it needs to taste good the first time. Whatever food I'm eating, whether it be exotic or just regular old American bar food or drinks, the first time I bite into something or sip on a drink, it needs to taste good. I don't need to acquire the taste. I shouldn't have to drink 3/4 of something or eat 3/4 of something before I go, okay, yeah, it tastes good now. No, it needs to taste good the moment my taste buds encounter it. Hit me with your best shot. Ain't that what the song said? Hit me with your best shot. You get one shot with me. And I have not tasted a beer yet that I went, yeah, that's what's up. Every single last one of them, trash. Oh, have you tried this? No, I don't want to, because I know it's going to be trash. Like it. Hey, but I digress, right? But in the locker room, they don't know how to pop the bottles. They're asking Caruso to teach them how to do it. Caruso won a chip with the Lakers in the bubble, and it had this take dawn upon me as I watched them struggle to open up those champagne bottles. OKC not knowing how to pop champagne after winning a title is an indictment on American sports obsession with winning titles. I'm going to say that again. The Oklahoma City Thunder not understanding how to pop bottles after winning a chip is an indictment of our culture's obsession with winning. Here's what I mean. In American sports, we only care about the bottom line. We don't care, what you did in the first round. We don't truly care too much about the second, third. But once you get to the title game, we are a culture that punishes you more for losing in the title round than we do for losing in earlier rounds. Unless you were a big favorite, right? If you were a big favorite, think when the We Believe Warriors beat the Dallas Mavericks in like 2008, 2009, somewhere in there, right? When they did that, we remember the failure of the Mavericks because they were the 1 seed, right? I think it's 94 where the Denver Nuggets shocked the Seattle Supersonics. We remember when teams who are heavy favorites failed to meet expectation, and we bashed them for that. But normally, if you make it to a title game and you lose, we kill you as if you lost in the first round, right? And so if American teams were allowed to celebrate their accomplishments and their victories before the title rounds, if the Oklahoma City Thunder were allowed to pop bottles when they won their division, when they clinched the 1 seed, when they won their first round game, semifinals, Western Conference Finals, if they had the opportunity to pop bottles and celebrate, by the time they get to the championship, they would have been all over the place with it. They would have been going crazy. It was like the Ghostbusters. Woo! This is going to look crazy if somebody decides to mean that, but I don't care. I'm not a pause guy. But I'm just saying, like, they would have been fully well prepared to pop bottles if they were allowed to celebrate their accomplishments, but they can't. Because if they do that, then it's, well, what are you doing that for? You're supposed to beat the Grizzlies. You're supposed to beat the Nuggets. You got the presumptive MVP. They hadn't announced the MVP yet. You got the presumptive MVP. You're supposed to beat them. Oh man, the Timberwolves aren't that good. They only beat the Warriors because Steph got hurt, right? And then people lightly didn't give Indiana a chance, so they were supposed to be. So at every step of the way, The Thunder don't get to feel like they're actually achieving things. They're just checking things off a box because you're expected to win, because you're the one seed, because you were the one seed last year, because you were so dominant. And so I think sometimes what happens when we just heap expectations and we don't stop and allow these players and give them time to smell the roses, to truly bask in for more than just 24 hours the thing that they have accomplished, I think you get guys like AJ Brown. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this, but after the Eagles beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl and they win their championship, they avenged their earlier loss about 3 years ago to the Chiefs. AJ Brown wrote a letter that said, you know what? I thought when I got to the mountaintop that I would feel differently. I thought I would feel more accomplished. I thought I would feel more happy. But he said, I got there and there was nothing. I just wanted to go back to work again. And again, we have done a terrible job in our society, not just in sports, but in life in general, of building people up that when they accomplish something, whether it is the greatest accomplishment of all time or whether it's just some small victory, we simply look at people and say, especially athletes, and say, what you want, a cookie? That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you get paid to do. You're supposed to win. You're supposed to be great. You're supposed to be. And yes, they have those expectations. And yes, for those great players, we should expect that of them. But we do not give our great athletes flowers enough. Right? And I'm going to touch on this topic in another video at some point. But you want to know what sport gets it right? What sport celebrates at every turn? It's baseball. Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball, they pop in beer when they win when they clinch divisions. They got T-shirts when they win the wild card. They got T-shirts for the divisional as well as the league championship series. And then obviously they celebrate every step of the way because they understand that this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's 162 games. It's in the hot sun. Day in, day out. It's playing when you don't feel like it, when you don't want to. It's getting through the slumps when you're in an 0 for 25 slump, when you've been hitless in 5 games, when the pitching is just seemingly giving up runs every day. It is the accumulation of all that effort resulting in victories, and they celebrate every step of the way. But if you do that in any other sport, you're seen as you're a loser. How dare you? How dare you be excited that you won a divisional wild card game? Matter of fact, in the NBA, when the Timberwolves won the playoff game in 2022 to clinch the 7th seed, and you got Pat Bev standing on the scores table going crazy, crowd going crazy. We ridiculed them. We made fun of that. That is a meme now of Pat Bev standing on that scorer's table. But if you go and look at Minnesota's history, that was only the second time they had made the playoffs in the last 19 years. They made that Western Conference final run with KG. The team went in the tank, and a few years later, KG was in Boston. They made the playoffs again in 2017. That one year Jimmy Butler was there, lost as an 8 seed, and then they went back into the tank until that year where they clinched. When they clinched the play-in spot at the number 7 seed. Shout out to my uncle. He says I wasn't agreeing with your point at first, but you changed my mind. I appreciate that. So again, these athletes put their lives, maybe that's too far to say their lives on the line, but they work their tails off to be great because nobody wants to suck. Nobody wants to be bad at what they do. And so we, as the sporting public, we should celebrate. We should applaud. We should push them to celebrate. Now, you don't want to get too caught up in the rat poison, as Nick Saban would call it when he coached at Alabama. You don't want to get too swept up in the praise because then you start to rest on your laurels. But we should allow them to celebrate just a little bit more. And we should applaud them when they clinch divisions because, yes, it might be expected of your team to dominate or to win their division, but it is not a given. It's earned. So when they clinch their division, they earn that. When they win a series, they earn that. And when they finally make it to the culmination of all their efforts and their reward is they earned it. And so we should show just a little bit more appreciation, in my opinion. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. What y'all think about that? Hit us up at Brains and Bars, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, all the social medias, man. Hit us up. So that's real quick.